Welcome to the DCTV News at Noon program. I'm Kelsey Kiesling.
And I'm Kendra Cook. Dolores County Broadcasting Network is the producer of DCTV with support from the Southwest TV Translator Association.
If you have a news topic or event you'd like to see covered, give us a call. The studio number is 677-4119.
Today's show runs Tuesday at noon, 3 and 6 p.m. and again is re-aired later throughout the weekend with the other weekday broadcast replays. Today's March 27th, 2018. And now the news at noon.
According to the Durango Herald with a photo from the AP file, the American Dental Association wants dentists to drastically cut back on prescribing opioid painkillers. The association announced a new policy Monday that essentially says eliminate opioids from your arsenal if at all possible, said Dr. Joseph Crowley, the group's president. The Chicago-based group represents around 161,000 dentists. The group is also pushing for limiting opioid prescriptions to no more than a week and mandatory education for dentists that encourages using other painkillers. Dentists write fewer than 7% of U.S. opioid prescriptions, but new research shows that practice has increased in recent years, despite evidence that ibuprofen and acetaminophen work just as well for most dental pain and are less risky opioids, which can be addictive. In many dental cases involving opioids, dentists prescribe Vicodin or Percocet for short-term pain from procedures including removing wisdom teeth and other tooth extractions, root canal work, or dental implants. But non-steroidal anti-inflammation drugs, including ibuprofen, sold as Motrin and Advil, are as effective for these conditions, and ibuprofen plus acetaminophen, or Tylenol, can provide better pain relief in some cases, according to an analysis of 5 studies published in the Journal of the American Dental Association. Dentists are the leading prescribers of opioids for U.S. teens, and the largest increase in dental prescriptions from 2010 to 2015 occurred in 11 to 18-year-olds, according to a study published in the same journal. The rate climbed from almost 100 to 165 per 1,000 patients. Among all ages, the rate increased from 131 to 147 per 1,000. The association said in a 2016 policy that dentists should consider these non-opioids as first-line treatment for pain.
From the Durango Herald, photo of the Journal. The Four Corners chapter of the American Red Cross needs volunteers, said Todd Parisi, Dove Creek resident and Disaster Action Team Coordinator for the Four Corners Red Cross. The organization responds to local disasters by providing victims with basic needs, clothing, emotional support, temporary housing, and emergency funds. We need more in all of our towns so we can respond to help our neighbors and visitors when they are having a bad day, he said. Local chapters have come and gone, and there was not one locally for a while, Parisi said. The retired Dolores County EMT decided to organize a new chapter in 2015 based out of Dove Creek. They currently have only 5 to 6 volunteers to cover the Four Corners. Ideally, they would like to have more volunteers spread out in Cortez, Dolores, Mancos, Toyac, Rico, and Durango. The Four Corners chapter responds to about 10 disasters per year. Parisi said, arriving in a donated old ambulance full of supplies. Often they are called in to help people who have lost homes to fire. Imagine losing everything in moments. They are in a state of shock and have nothing but the clothes on their backs wearing flip-flops, Parisi said. We provide the support they need to get their bearings and start the recovery process. Victims are issued debit cards to purchase immediate necessities such as clothing, food, or a hotel room. The Red Cross also helps during extreme weather emergencies such as the 2002 Missionary Ridge fire that burned dozens of homes, or the 2015 Christmas blizzard that closed U.S. Highway 491 overnight between Cortez and Dove Creek and stranded dozens of people on the highway in their cars in freezing weather. Dove Creek's 12 hotel rooms quickly filled, Parisi said, and Red Cross volunteers arranged overnight shelters for stranded motorists in area churches and local homes. Other times, the group helps victims of vehicle crashes or someone who has broken down. During the Weber fire in 2012, They were on standby and set up an emergency shelter. In responding to an emergency, Red Cross volunteers help in many ways. They comfort victims, run errands, pick up family members, gather supplies, set up shelters, or take care of pets or livestock. The local chapter will be having a meeting May 12th at the La Plata County Fairgrounds. Those interested in volunteering are encouraged to attend. Volunteers must pass a background check and go through a training process. For more information on volunteering with the Red Cross and to fill out an application, visit them online at redcross.org.
Reported by the Cortez Journal, on Tuesday, the Senate agreed to amendments placed on Senate Bill 2, which could put as much as $150 million into financing high-speed internet to rural communities. The bill has now gone to Governor John Hickenlooper to sign. A bill viewed as a companion to Senate Bill 2 followed shortly after. The Senate approved House Bill 1099 on a 25-10 vote on Friday, and since it was not amended in its trip through the Senate, it also heads to the governor to sign. House Bill 1099 deals with what's known as the right of first refusal. The situation came to the attention of lawmakers in southwest Colorado last year. The company planned to put in fiber optic cable, which provides the fastest service currently available. But CenturyLink has been in the area longer and has that right of first refusal. That means they could bid to provide that internet service and take over the grant. That's exactly what happened in Ridgway in Ouray County. CenturyLink elected to provide internet service through copper lines. That's about 10 times slower than fiber optic and can be more expensive to customers. That's not fair to the customer or to the businesses that wanted to provide the better service. According to the bill's House sponsors, Republican Representative Mark Catlin of Montrose and Democratic Representative Barbara McLaughlin of Durango. House Bill 1099 won't take away that right of first refusal, but it would mandate that the companies exercising that right provide service equal to or better than the original bid and at the same or lower cost. The third effort this week to ramp up rural broadband comes from the office of U.S. Senate Michael Bennet of Denver, who this week launched a new initiative known as Connect Colorado. The funds would come from the $1.3 trillion omnibus spending bill signed into law Friday by President Trump. The measure includes a new pilot program to be run by the U.S. Department of Agriculture. The department already has a program known as Community Connect that funds rural broadband and is available to state and local governments, tribes, and nonprofit and for-profit organizations. Eligible communities in the existing program include rural areas where internet speeds are less than 10 megabytes per second download and 1 megabyte per second upload.
Here's an interesting idea launched in Durango, reported by the Herald Photo Obsidian Network. Durango startup Obsidian Network is launching a debit card that will allow customers to earn gift cards and discounts from companies in town and to donate to local nonprofits. Payment tends to be very mundane, but this actually lets the cardholders purchase with their conscience and make a moral decision when they make purchases, said Adam Ahern, Obsidian's president and chief operating officer. The Obsidian Think Local card functions like a debit card, but it could help keep more money circulating in Durango by offering consumers rewards and showing them what percentage of their spending is done locally, founder and CEO Travis Priest said. The card is unique in the debit card world because it allows the cardholders to earn gift cards and discounts. It also allows users to round up their purchase to the nearest 25 cents, 50 cents, or dollar and automatically sends the money to a local nonprofit of the consumer's choice. The company has 13 nonprofits signed up and it's accepting more. It's a nice mix of I can do the right thing and get rewarded for it, Priest said. Obsidian is launching the card in La Plata County, and Priest hopes to make it available in cities across the country. Ahern believes it is good fit for towns that want to preserve the character that locally owned shops add to a community. The company will focus on rolling out the card in Colorado towns first. To help educate consumers, if a cardholder buys something outside the area that could be purchased in Durango, the company will send the user an email about the local alternative. When you can make a choice, it makes sense to buy local, Priest said. Priest was inspired to start his company by a community loyalty card program in Lawrence, Kansas. Obsidian staff spent 6 months testing its card with 20 Durango businesses. The company has added 300 local businesses to its loyalty program and is planning to add more. more. The cards are issued by the Central Bank of Kansas City. They can be connected to any bank account, and they are accepted by any business that accepts Discover Card. Priest pitched the idea to the three major credit card companies, and Discover saw potential in the idea, he said. The company pays Discover a percentage of its fee. When shoppers sign up for a card, they select how much money they would like to be loaded on the card at any time, and the card will automatically reload when that amount has been spent. The model allows Obsidian to serve as many people as possible, and the company needs only to verify that customers are U.S. citizens. The Obsidian cards aren't designed to replace a credit card, and they have limitations. For example, they can't be used internationally or at casinos. But they may offer a speedy alternative to a credit card in a checkout line because the cards don't require a PIN number and they don't have a chip. It's just swipe and go, Priest said. For more information, go online to thinklocalcard.com.
According to the Cortez Journal, the developer of an apartment complex in Colorado Springs filed a civil rights complaint against the complex's neighbors who are looking to keep the housing project from breaking ground. The Gazette reports Darren Murphy, a vice president for Wisconsin-based Commonwealth Development Corporation, says the developer felt some of the messaging from Broadmoor Bluffs Neighborhood Association was crossing the line. Commonwealth claims Broadmoor Bluffs is discriminating against a 60-unit apartment complex that is being financed with low-income housing tax credits. The complex is intended for people earning between 1/3 and half of the area's median income. The Broadmoor Bluffs group alleges a myriad of city codes and Americans with Disabilities Act violations. Many revolved around safety concerns for children living at the complex, as well as the potential for landslides in the area's unstable ground. And now let's take a look at the weather.
The National Weather Map from NOAA. Those continued rain and thunderstorms bring tremendous amounts of rain from Texas all the way up to Maine today and tomorrow. Flash flooding is possible in the central southern states, and behind that is a high pressure keeping the upper Midwest dry for now. To the west, a mix of rain and snow is possible along the Canadian border to the Pacific Northwest, and the snow will be moving across Colorado and northern New Mexico through tomorrow. Behind that, to the west coast, it's dried out, but the winds are becoming a factor again. Regionally, rain and snow showers are expected across southwest Colorado today and this evening. Snow showers may be locally heavy at times over the San Juan Mountains this afternoon, with new snow accumulations from 2 to 6 inches possible. Little to no accumulating snow is expected elsewhere through tonight. A weak upper level disturbance will bring a chance for snow to the northern and central mountains in western Colorado Wednesday afternoon through early Thursday. A stronger storm is expected to arrive late in the weekend. This storm may bring moderate snowfall accumulations to the mountains, with a chance for rain and snow showers over the valleys. The DCTV 5-day outlook. Today, a slight chance of snow showers after 1 p.m., mixing with rain after 3 p.m. Some thunder is also possible. Partly sunny with a high near 49 degrees. North-northwest winds 10 to 15 miles an hour. The chance of precipitation is just 20%. Tonight, mostly clear with a low around 27 degrees. North winds 5 to 15 miles an hour. And Wednesday, sunny with a high near 51 to 54 degrees. North winds 15 to 15 miles an hour. Wednesday night, mostly clear with a low around 30. And Thursday, sunny with a high near 54 degrees, northwest winds 5 to 10 miles an hour. Thursday night, partly cloudy with a low around 30. Friday, mostly sunny with a high near 55 to 60 degrees. Friday night, partly cloudy with a low around 30. Saturday, partly sunny with a high near 63 is what I have, but 61 is what it shows. Mostly cloudy with a low around 38. Sunday, partly sunny with a high near 64 degrees, and Sunday night, partly cloudy with a low around 37. And now, back to the news.
Reported by the Cortez Journal with a photo from the Associated Press file by Morgan Lee. New Mexico farmers produced fewer of the state's famed hot peppers in 2017, and data released by federal and state agriculture officials say the value of the chili crop has declined. The tallies for the last growing season show planted chili acreage has shrunk by more than half over the last 17 years, from a peak in 2005 of 17,500 acres to 8,100 acres last year. About 94% of that was harvested. The number of tons produced also has dropped, and agricultural experts are placing the blame on a lack of labor and a persistent drought that has forced farmers to shift priorities. As for the value of the crop, that dropped to an estimated $44.6 million in 2017, despite continued demand for New Mexico's signature crop. New Mexico Agriculture Secretary Jeff Witt said March 14th that limited irrigation supplies have resulted in farmers focusing what little water they do get on more permanent crops such as the pecan orchards that line the Hatch and Mesilla valleys in southern New Mexico. That has left annual crops such as chili, lettuce, and onions in the dust. Still, Witt said there's no danger of New Mexico's annual tradition of roasting green chili going by the wayside.
From Westward, photo Engels and Volkers of Aspen. Bitcoin and other forms of cryptocurrency are ultra trendy among investors, speculators, and others who dream of making a quick fortune. But they're also becoming increasingly mainstream, especially among the super rich, as illustrated by what appears to be a first for the luxury home market in Aspen. One seller with a spectacular property in the exclusive Starwood development has announced that interested buyers can pay for it using the digital asset, which is secured using cryptography. Cryptocurrency has been a phenomenon in the area, says Eric Berg, a real estate advisor with Engel and Volkers Aspen, who's handling the property with colleague Tracy Lofgren. Aspen has a lot of sophisticated clients. The price for 498 South Starwood Drive, a 6-bedroom, 7-bathroom, 6,270 square foot mountain hideaway, is set at $5.350 million, or around 600 Bitcoin at the present rate. Bitcoin recently slipped under $8,500 apiece after going for more than twice that amount, nearly $18,000 per, as recently as last December. Burge compares cryptocurrency to some of the things that were happening in the dot-com era. There was a lot of hype and a lot of people were making money. Then the correction hit, and a lot of companies went away, but a few made it. It's going to be the same with cryptocurrency. You only hear about a few biggies beyond Bitcoin. Other prominent examples include Ontology and Ethos, but the reality is there are tons of them, and there's been so much wealth created. And I feel if there's going to be a correction, a lot of them will go away, but some won't. In his view, the appeal of cryptocurrency is obvious. When you look at what's going on with currencies around the world, a lot of which are terrible. If you talk to accountants and tax attorneys and those kinds of people, you can really understand the benefits of it. And in the last year, give or take, some of those currencies have gone up 10 or 15,000%. These are staggering numbers. Such digits even get the attention of people who can afford to live in Starwood, Aspen's only gated community. Its most famous past resident, singer-songwriter John Denver, actually wrote a song about it, Starwood in Aspen. And among the billionaires with a place there at present are Robert, Dirk, and Daniel Ziff, heirs to the Ziff publishing fortune, Sears Holdings CEO and one-time AutoZone main man, Ed Crazy Eddie Lampert, and John Paulson, a massively successful hedge funder. Using cryptocurrency to buy the joint will require some extra protections for both seller and buyer, Burge concedes. Agreements have to be put in place to deal with the volatility, which can be extreme, he says. You'll need to set some parameters depending on what's going on when the property sells. It might take 7 to 10 days to fully convert over, so you'd have to have some language where you'd have to have a floor and a ceiling, perhaps, in terms of determining the final price, because of the fluctuations and how much the value could change. At this writing, the Bitcoin pitch hasn't lured a suitor for the Starwood pile, but Burge points out that when you think about it, you only need one person to buy a piece of property, and if you really understand cryptocurrency, it makes a lot of sense depending on your net worth and percentages and things like that.
Reported by the Cortez Journal with a photo from Jim Mimiaga with the Journal. The U.S. Forest Service also considers e-bikes to be motorized vehicles, and users must stay on motorized routes, said Recreation Planner Tom Rice. The BLM is pushing awareness of the rules after an unknown e-bike vendor recently set up a demonstration in the parking lot of Phil's World, a BLM managed mountain biking area. The BLM has heard reports of riders illegally using the e-bikes at Phil's World, Christensen said, adding that riders have questions about where they are allowed. BLM Tres Rios field manager Connie Clemenson said the BLM plans to add signage at popular non-motorized trailheads like Phil's World and Sand Canyon to inform the public that e-bikes are not allowed there. Local rangers also have been made aware of the rules, she said. E-bikes are also not allowed on trails in the open spaces owned by the city of Cortez, said Recreation Director Dean Palmquist. But there is plenty of territory where e-bikes are welcome. They can be used anywhere motorized travel is allowed, including Forest Service and BLM roads, and local streets, county roads, and highways. They are allowed on ATV routes such as the Aspen Loop Trail in the La Plata Mountains, and can be ridden on single-track motorized routes such as the Calico Trail north of Dolores.
From the Telluride Daily Planet, Photo Fox Business News. More than 20 years after legendary drag racer Mickey Thompson was gunned down, his son is driven to capture the world land speed record in his dad's old car. Danny Thompson, age 69 of Ridgeway, inherited the Challenger 2 race car in 1988 after his father was killed during a hit-for-hire plot ordered by a former business associate. Danny Thompson will tell his family story in an upcoming episode of Strange Inheritance with Jamie Colby, which airs Monday, March 26th at 7 p.m. on the Fox Business Channel. The episode will rerun Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. and Friday at 8:30 p.m. Mickey Thompson was one of the world's top racers in the 1950s and 60s. In 1960, he became the first American to hit 400 miles an hour. Driving his hand-built Challenger dragster, he clocked 406.6 miles an hour at Utah's Bonneville Salt Flats. Mickey Thompson, however, barred his son Danny from racing after a dreadful scare. Mickey was told a 9-year-old Danny had been seriously injured in a racing accident at the midget track. The rumor turned out to be untrue, but the moment of panic was too much for Mickey. He said, "That's it, you're done. You're never racing again ever in your life," Danny told Colby. "My dad took my car away, sold it that night." Mickey stopped racing in the 1970s to launch a high-performance tire company and promote racing shows, while Danny began racing motorcycles and Indy cars. Danny had competition running through his blood. In 1988, Mickey gave Danny a chance to compete with him. Mickey was getting a new, improved Challenger 2 ready for Bonneville. He hoped to complete the quest he started back in 1960 to set the world land speed record for a piston-powered car. He said, "I want you to drive Challenger 2, Danny said. After all of these years, the number one thing he wanted is for me to drive it. But the dream of a Team Thompson world record ended on March 16, 1988, the day Mickey Thompson was shot dead in his driveway. It took 18 years to convict his business associate, Michael Goodwin, who was sentenced to life in prison. Meantime, Challenger 2 was mothballed. When my dad died, the dream went away," he said, "so the car went back on the trailer. I didn't want to do it without him." By 2010, however, Bonneville was calling again. Danny pulled the Challenger 2 out of storage with hopes of capturing the record. His current race team includes his 31-year-old son, Travis. In 2016, Danny clocked an average speed of 406.7 miles an hour, a hair faster than his father's time back in 1960, which made him one of a dozen racers to break 400 miles an hour in a piston-powered car. That time is short of the official record of 437 miles an hour, but Danny insists he's up for the challenge and will try again this summer.
And now for the Dolores County Sheriff's Roundup for the week of March 19th through the 25th. Officer transported individuals for court this week. The Sheriff's Office had numerous reports of cattle being out in the county on different roads. All owners have been contacted and cattle have been secured. A report of campaign signs being vandalized and stolen. Report of 2 small dogs in town. Sheriff's Office contacted Animal Control. Fire Department reported a controlled burn on Highway 141. Deputies responded to a report of a possible domestic disturbance in a vehicle northbound on Highway 491 in Pleasant View. The vehicle was stopped in Montezuma County after the vehicle turned around and headed back towards Cortez. A caller reported a reckless driver northbound on Highway 491 at milepost 41 in Montezuma County. A deputy responded toward the county line to try to locate the vehicle. Montezuma County and the Colorado State Patrol were notified. Dolores County Sheriff's deputies conducted welfare checks on community members and everything was okay. That concludes today's roundup. Stay tuned for continued updates.
Today's High Canyon Country happenings. March 29th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. is the Job Fair at Blanding Arts and Events Center in Utah at the Utah State Blanding campus. San Juan County Job Fair is in partnership with the Department of Workforce Services, San Juan County Chamber of Commerce, and the San Juan County Bear Program. March 28th from 7:30 to 9 p.m. at the Canyon Country Discovery Center in Monticello, Utah. Come join the CCDC for the March Star Party, where they will be pointing telescopes at the second full moon of the month. Join them for educator-led talks about astronomy and nighttime wildlife. Admission is free. Saturday, March 31st, the Cannabis Crawl Comedy Show is held in Durango at El Rancho Tavern from 6 to 8 p.m. Over a dozen comics from all over the Southwest will be on hand throughout the day, performing at select dispensaries and wrapping up the day with an amazing show at El Rancho Tavern at 6 p.m. Drawing for free ride fest tickets happens at 8 p.m. For more details, visit the site online, comedyshowcasedurango.com. And all of these happenings are posted on our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page, along with the YouTube replays, weather, and original stories and local posts. To share your event or information, contact us. Email dcbnnews@gmail.com or call the station 970-677-4119 and we'll be sure to get your news on air.
Thanks for tuning in. News at Noon airs at noon Monday through Thursday and then is rebroadcast at 3 and 6 p.m. on each of those days. The weekday news shows are then replayed throughout the weekend as well.
And be sure to check us out on Facebook. It's DCTV News at Noon. Please like us there and share it with a friend.
For Kendra Cook with DCTV and the News at Noon program out of Dove Creek, USA, I'm Kelsey Kiesling. Thanks for watching.